don't talk to Kyle by accident. That'd be wrong.
We could do it however you want to. Oh, these guys.
There you are.
I think XSplit sent out the wrong update. I hate XSplit. No, I really don't hate XSplit chat room.
What?
I said chat room. There's people watching us in the chat room.
Oh.
Okay, cool.
That's how this works.
I have a special buff on you, and I have you set to no aggros, so you should be cool. Even though we're starting out in Skyshrine City, so you won't be aggroed much.
Okay. Sounds great. Hey everybody, this is Rob, aka Gracklin, here with Wayback Wednesday on MMORPGcom, and I have with me David, Georgeson, and Kyle. Hey, do you guys want to, Dave, would you like to introduce yourself and let everybody know what it is you do? And
Sure, you bet. My name is Dave Georgeson. I'm the Director of Development for the Everquest franchise. And currently that includes Everquest, Everquest 2, and the still being created Everquest Next.
You tease. Because he can't talk about it.
Oh, I can talk about it, and I just have to fire myself.
That would be interesting.
Well, we wouldn't want that. Anyway, so what we have here is Everquest 2, and one of the things I like to do, obviously, the name of the show is Wayback Wednesday, so I don't play MMOs that came out, last week. I play MMOs that have been out for a while. And Everquest 2 has been out, I believe it's 8 years now?
7 still, well, close to 8. Yeah, getting close.
Fact check, please, Kyle.
No, it's totally true. I just, time goes by fast. I forgot.
I know. So, in those 8 years that Everquest 2 has been out, what do you think one of the main things that's helped differentiate it on the market as opposed to any other MMO that's out there?
Well, that's an interesting question. Because, of course, most of the other MMOs that are out there are patterned after the games that we created at SOE. So it's kind of funny to say how has it differentiated itself from the other ones. But as we've gone forward with Everquest 2 and continued to make it bigger and better, we've added all kinds of experimental features. One of the more recent ones was Dungeon Maker, and we've done a lot of stuff with experimenting with our classes and what we do with the way we tell stories and how we give out quests. Kyle deals with stuff every time we do a new GU or expansion, creating new kinds of gameplay, better kinds of gameplay, opening up to more and more players without dumbing the game down, and we're constantly doing that sort of thing. So a successful MMO not only doesn't die, it gets better. I mean, if you get that critical mass at the beginning and you get a loyal community that goes on with time, your game should be constantly changing, and EQ2 definitely does.
Well, I would say that that's a great answer. The fact that the thing that separates you apart from the pack is the fact that you did it first, and you're the litmus test by what a lot of the present MMOs are being judged by. I'd like to touch back on the Dungeon Maker. Can you go ahead and I'm trying to get people that aren't necessarily familiar with the Everquest franchise to take a look at EQ2 and some of the more unique features that it has. And I would probably say that's more than likely one of the most unique features that you have in an MMO today is the fact that you can make your dungeons. Do you want to explain some of the features that you got there?
Sure. There's actually a lot of creativity elements in EQ2 that are not available in other games. When we started out with the housing, we had a really great housing system, and we still do, which we slowly grew over time to add in leaderboards, ways to publish your houses and let other people see them and visit your house, all kinds of different ways to show off and brag and essentially compete against other decorators on a leaderboard sort of system so that you could become well known for doing what you do well. Well, the natural outgrowth of all the housing stuff that we had done was to allow people to actually create their own dungeons. Because if they could decorate the inside of a housing space but have no gameplay associated with it, we thought about it for a while, and we realized there were a few hoops we had to jump through R&D wise. But once we had done those, we would be able to allow them to actually create these huge dungeon spaces. And we did that, and we launched that back with Age of Discovery, the most recent expansion pack, and it has done well with the game. The dungeons and stuff that the players are creating are phenomenal. But we knew that would happen because we had seen the houses that they had created, and if they were creating houses for effectively no audience, we could just imagine what they would do if they actually had people coming over to visit. So we set up Dungeon Maker, and we're in the process right now of creating a way for people to be able to play as their own characters instead of these adventurer avatars that were specialized for the dungeon. And when that's done, you're literally creating your own world as you go along, and other people are playing it on a constant basis. I mean, we continue to deliver large quantities of professional quality content, most recently with Sky Shrine and all the stuff we've done there. But at the same time, players can be generating all kinds of stuff on their own, so there's really never downtime. Hello?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I was trying to take it all in. That's a lot. So, I sorry, I was giggling at his response there. He was like, "You asked." No, I like the fact that you gave us more information, and it wasn't just like, "Oh, we made Dungeon Maker. It was nice. There, play it."
Well, I kind of wanted to show you why. I mean, it's our theory. Sorry, it's my pet theory. I don't want to give this to SOE and say it's their theory, because some people might not agree with me. But it's my theory that MMOs, there's a kernel of every MMO, and it's based around the people that make the community work, and that's trade skillers and the people that run guilds and the people that pay attention to lore and talk to the other players, and they're the social glue of everything that goes on. One of the reasons why Everquest 2 has done so well over time is that we have a really good trade skilling system in the game, and people have really grown to like it over time, and we've always put serious effort into making sure that the player economy is healthy from a crafter point of view and being able to sell in the broker. Now, granted, we freely admit that there's too much plat in our economy right now, and we're going to be working on that in the future. But as far as taking care of the trade skillers, we've always done that. And the housing decorations and all that other stuff, as well as Dungeon Maker and everything like that, is a natural outgrowth of taking care of these kinds of people. And when those people are happy, everybody's happy, because everybody has to deal with those people. That wants to deal with those people. You go to them for crafting items. You go to them when you want to organize all kinds of different events. They're just the people that you go to all the time. They're just those natural kinds of folks, and they touch everybody. So we want to make sure that they're always in a good place with the game, in addition to adding the raids and the combats and the adventures and the stuff you expect out of an MMO. There's this kind of secret kernel inside that is the real core of why these things work.
I agree with you on almost everything you said, and I'll tell you from firsthand experience that my playing style, along with my lifestyle, has been forced to change. When you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you can stay up to all hours of the night and be in a progressive guild and raid, and you could probably do it when you're in your 30s and 40s. I tried in my 30s. We'll see about my 40s. But it becomes increasingly more difficult. And one of the things that I find myself doing is becoming a completionist. I'm not a big altaholic, but one of the things I do like to do is do almost everything you possibly can on a single character to make them as best as possible. So, that being said, I'm big into achievements, the lore, trade skills. I try to, so those meta things in the game that go along with the societies, and that's one of the things that really draws me to MMOs is the social aspect that makes everything tick in the background. That's why I really like to hear what you have to say, because it's not just about let's go in the raid and kill the dragons, because it's about that too, but it's about all this other stuff that's going on as well. And
well, let's just say that some MMOs chase the single player experience, and I'm not really sure why. Because MMOs are not about that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to play a single player game, there's better single player games. If you want to be around people, play an online game.
You hear it from the man here himself. It's funny to hear someone say this probably isn't the game for you if you're looking for a single player game, and it's refreshing to hear someone finally say that. But another one of the
not what it's for.
Yeah, another one of the things that I want to ask you too, why I still have you, is what of all the time we said 22, 23 years you spent in the gaming industry, and you spent how many years have you spent with obviously I guess from cradle to where we are now with EQ2?
No, sorry, I've been a producer director for many companies over the last 23 years. The very first game that I worked on was as a designer on the SSI Gold Box D&D game. And then I've skipped around from company to, are you there?
Yeah, I said you sir, how I need to talk to you about trying to get some of those or emulate them or something. We need to talk. I remember when I was a kid seeing those in my uncle's house on the first Commodore and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, we built those on 286s for shipping on 386s a long time ago. But I produced and directed games like Tribes 2 and PlanetSide, the first one, and I've been involved with a lot of games I was very, very proud of. And then it's only been for the last, well, I guess it's coming up on 3 years now that I've been involved with the EQs. Of course, Everquest 2 was being made when I was building PlanetSide back with SOE, and then I left for a while and then came back to SOE, and then I've taken over the Everquest franchises since I came back.
I did play some PlanetSide back in, I guess it was probably 2005 when I played PlanetSide, if I got my timeline correct. Okay. But what are you most proud accomplishing on Everquest 2 since you've taken the reins over the last few years?
Okay, well, I'm going to take you to task on semantics a little bit because I don't do anything.
Okay. What are you most proud of your team for accomplishing on Everquest 2 since you've had the reins? Does that work?
Yeah, that's fair. Thank you. No, I appreciate that because it really is. I mean, no individual can do anything.
And that's what I meant to ask. It just came out wrong.
No, it's okay. I clarify all the time because, well, let's just say I've gotten in trouble over it. But we've done so much. One of the things I'm really proud of the guys, and this won't go over huge necessarily with the audience that's listening, but one of the things I'm really proud of the guys was with the free-to-play launch that we did for Everquest 2 Extended when we first did that. We needed to do that as a business, but we knew it was going to be really, really hard. It's difficult to make huge sweeping changes in a game that has an established way of being played. Nobody wants to see change in their game, but it was something that absolutely had to happen. And the team was resistive at first too because they knew that it was going to be a negative experience for a lot of people that got involved in it at the beginning before they were actually able to check it out. And so the team rallying behind that and actually finding ways to get all that work done in addition to all the cool content that we already had planned was really amazing. And then the way that we've continued to push and push and push to make the GUs bigger and bigger at the same time that we're still delivering expansions and doing all the other stuff that we do on a regular basis, it's an amazing team to work with. We're not supposed to say numbers, so I can't say the number of people on the team, but it's still one of the biggest teams in the company, and these people are all highly motivated to make kick-ass quality product. And there's just no way to describe it until you're actually there on a day-by-day basis and watching the level of excitement, the way that people interact with each other all the time about, oh, we're going to do this, and then it's going to make this huge explosion, and these guys are going to come in, and the programmers are all talking at that same level, and that's what's fun about working with those people on a constant day-by-day basis and watching them never get tired of making it cooler and cooler for the players.
Well, I'll tell you, you probably know this already, but I had a chance to sit down with Tom Terrasis, who's your producer for Everquest 1, right after you guys went free to play and to celebrate your 13th year anniversary. And that's how Tom told me to say it. Like I was a news anchor that was completely Caucasian, but all of a sudden had a Hispanic accent when I was saying his name. So you can let him know that I'm doing my best to this day to pronounce it like he instructed me. But I think you guys hit the nail on the head with going to free to play with a lot of these games. But you just expand yourself to such a broader market, and the microtransaction is really a great model, and I think you guys have done a pretty good job of it so far. So.
Well, I like the microtransaction stuff because it's kind of a, well, it's almost a donation scheme. I don't know whether people realize it or not, but these games are effectively shareware now.
Mm-hmm.
You pay as much as you want to pay. You come in, you try it out. If you like it, you leave some money behind if you want to. But if you don't want to, we don't get a dime. So if we're not entertaining you, if we're not making a game that's fun for you, we make nothing. The entire onus is on us now. And yeah, I really like free to play for a lot of reasons. But really, honestly, one of them is because we constantly have new people coming in to check out the game, and that's just worth its weight in gold. I mean, it's just amazing because new people coming in gives all the vets something to talk. It gives people for them to talk to and show off and mentor and bring in, and constantly having new blood in there and new eyes experiencing it for the first time. Lets vets see it in a non-jaded sort of way. They get to see it all again as if it's like going to Disneyland with somebody that's never been there before. You know what I mean?
No, I understand.
It's just fun. It's more fun going to Disneyland with people that have never been there before because you get to see it all for the first time watching them play.
Yeah, everything's new to them. What's old is new again when you have a new audience for the first time enjoying your games.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like, you know, I missed, and I told everybody on the first show that I did, and Everquest, the first one was the first, no, I think it's the second show I did, but it was the first one that I really wanted to do when I came up with the concept for this show, because you know it is the, you know, it may not have been the first MMO, but it was the first really fully 3D realized MMO, and you can't talk about MMOs without going back and talking about Everquest. But I missed the boat. I wasn't really into MMOs at the time, so it took me 13 years to rediscover it, and there's a lot of features that you had in the very beginning that even now it's like, why doesn't this game have this when this game does? So it's very refreshing to play some of these older games, and I just had a lot of fun with them.
Well, I'll tell you, if I was going to try to start a company to copy the format and make a slightly different version, I don't even know why I would start, because trying to catch up with the feature sets of these established MMOs is like climbing 15 mountains all at once. It's just, there's so much in these games.
They're very feature rich. And if there's one thing about, you could stretch this out to the whole EverQuest franchise, or keep it to EverQuest 2 if you want. Like one specific thing that you'd want to leave them with. What would you want? What do you think the highlight of the EQ experience is?
Oh, holy God.
Did I just open Pandora's box? Because it's supposed to be like to give you an escape hatch, so you can be like, oh, here's Kyle, and if we do the new stuff, and then you'd be like, this is the note to leave it on, or you can, sir, this is your format.
I was trying to give you a real answer, but I have to tell you that I know you gave me a segue, and now it's going to sound like it's really canned, but this Sky Shrine stuff, Kyle is exactly the right person to talk to right now, because he is the mastermind behind all of this Sky Shrine GU that we kind of pushed together, him and a couple other guys. But the Sky Shrine stuff specifically, he was the driving force behind, and it is absolutely some of the best content we've ever put into EQ2. And I'm not saying that just because it's cool that there's dragons, but yeah, it is cool because there's dragons. But it's also the way that he's telling the story, and the way that you flip back and forth and see different perspectives of what had happened and affecting it, and actually making real differences to it. And it's a lot more immersive than a lot of the stories that we've told elsewhere. And I'm really proud of the ways that they've been changing the way that we're doing raids and all the things that Kyle will tell you about. So why don't I let him talk?
Well, Smokejumper, I appreciate it. I hope you can stick around. If not, I understand.
You're so good at it.
You're more than welcome to continue on.
I have to bail out right now, but I'll try to listen, and if I hear anything that's just really screwy, I'll try to get back in. Kyle will do a great job.
I appreciate your time, and thanks for being on the show, and I hope to talk to you again. And I just want to let you know that you guys have some of the coolest jobs, period.
You're not wrong about that.
See, I'm right every now and again. You're welcome.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That was Dave Georgeson, aka Smokejumper from SOE, and now we have Kyle, and I assume it's Vallee, but I don't want to.
Yeah, Vallee.
Okay, Vallee.
Yeah, it's French Canadian, if it matters.
I play a lot of video games, and they're other than us pretentious Americans, aka U.S. citizens, it's French Canadians followed by Brazilians, so they get stuck playing MMOs with. So
yeah, I'm actually American, but my surname is French Canadian.
You're Canadian. I don't know what you're talking about.
I was born and raised here, so San Diego native.
Once a French Canadian, always French Canadian. Okay, anyways, why don't you go ahead and take a few minutes to introduce yourself and let everybody know what it is you do. And
all right, my name's Kyle Vallee, Kyle Kander Vallee. I'm the assistant lead designer on Everquest 2. I'm predominantly up till now a content designer. I design zones, I build them, I populate them, I do pretty much everything, but my passion is putting in awesome experiences, especially for group and raid content type stuff. But I love creating. That's what I do. I make stuff up. So taking the reins is fun, and I love telling everybody what to do. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Well, yeah, that's not so fun. That's what I do on a normal basis. So anyways, we have here Skyshrine. Well, I guess this is actually the area, or why don't you tell them where we're at?
Okay, so this is actually the city of Drakir, which is it's part of Skyshrine. It's part of EverQuest 2 Skyshrine. It wasn't anything that you got to see in EQ. This is the city of the Custodians, where the Drakirians live, and these are guys that are descended from a race that was created by Vishan to take care of the dragons, and this is their city where they perform their capital stuff and commerce, and they have their schools of magic and the arcane, and this is basically this is the forbidden city. Up until now, players have not gotten to see this city. This is actually back in time, so I'm starting here because I thought it would be cool to show you what the city looked like before it was invaded by the Awakened. So
I'm into lore. I definitely I have a tail. What's that?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm a guy. All right, yeah, this is dragons. So we got some dragons flying around in here. I just saw these like dragonflies, and I was like, oh, no dragonflies.
Now, if you take a look up above, we have drakes and dragons flying around, patrolling the city.
So what is the difference between a drake and a dragon?
And actually, those are Dracoda, which are they're sentient. So they're a sentient race. They can be anywhere from guys that help out whoever up to big time leaders and intelligent guys and strategists, generals. They're actually sentient, and in our game, that's the Dracoda, and they're a race descended from dragons, but sometimes we refer to them as drakes so that people understand what we're talking about. But so this is the city. Let's go ahead and head to the this way and head to the Mercantile District. This is actually the Covenant District. So.
Oh, hey. That's a pretty cool guard right there.
Yeah.
Is that the Dakota? Oh.
Drakirian.
Drakirian.
Yeah. If you want to take a look, these are the humanoid dragon men who are the custodians of the dragons. This is one of their guards. These guys are committed to defending the city. That's what they do, and they're pretty tough.
He's level 98.
Imagine.
Yeah.
yeah. Aside from level and tier, they're very tough.
He's epic 4 times.
Warriors. Yeah, they're warriors. They're mages. They're scholars. They're very sentient and have a very rich.
They're very tall too.
They are. Well, they're dragon men, so they're
they're
they're big.
They have a bigger tail than I do.
they're twice the size of our biggest race. So yeah.
Oh, I like your shield there, by the way.
Yeah, I'm wearing
That's like a snake.
all Sky Shrine gear. So this is all stuff that you can get through the Sky Shrine content. And when you start to see the bad guys, you'll notice that what I'm wearing looks an awful lot like what they're wearing. So you'll be,
Are you uninspectable or something?
I'm not sure. Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't inspect you.
I can inspect you.
You make the game. I'm just the guy playing around, following you.
It might be the buff I have on us that's making us no kill and no aggro.
That's cool.
So
if we were currently aggroable, would this guy be trying to attack us?
No.
Okay.
He'd probably be indifferent or, well, okay, so that's actually something interesting. When you come to this portion of the expansion, you go back in time. So
okay.
when you come into Sky Shrine, it's aflame, it's destroyed, it's being completely invaded by the Legions of the Awakened, which are Terrafirm's Legions, which is the big dragon baddie, the end guy of our Age's End prophecy. His legions are attacking it. This city has historically been protected by ancient dragon magic. It's completely guarded by crusaders, these 4 very powerful dragons, and they don't expect anybody to be showing up here. So when you actually come here for the first time, you'll actually be in Drakarian form. We send you back through time and we disguise you. There's a very rich storyline that explains you should really wear this disguise because humans, Ixar, ogres have never been seen in the city of Drakir. So you come in with a disguise the first time. As you earn faction with the city eventually, and you finish the inside quest lines of Sky Shrine, you eventually can walk around as yourself, and you have some respect, but which is weird because you're back in time. But I guess it's like Groundhog Day. If they saw you the same time every day, eventually maybe they might get to know you. No.
We'll pretend.
Okay.
I like the banners here, by the way. I like the
yeah.
artwork on those banners. That one right there is pretty cool.
There's some historical symbols here. This one over here. Which one is it? Oh no, that's not it. This one here is Vishan, who's the dragon goddess. She's the goddess of actually pretty much our world. She created Norath, and she's a giant crystalline dragon. So
cool.
Yeah, but so come around here, and we shall run through the mercantile. This is the Covenant district.
Okay.
So this is where they live their daily lives. They do a lot of buying, selling, and trading. This is where their stuff comes into the city, and if you have your music on or your sound, you'll start to probably hear some pretty cool music. We have different music for each district that we put a lot of work and effort into with Inon Zur, and it's pretty cool. I don't know if you can hear it.
I'm being quiet so I can hear it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually during the design process, we write up music documents and we tell the guy that does our music that we want it to sound like this. We want this to sound like a mercantile district, that where it's a hustling, bustling metropolis. And that's pretty much the embodiment of that. It kind of sounds almost I don't know what the word is. Some people have said it sounds like it belongs in another game, but I like it.
That's pretty cool looking constructed guardian golem looking thing there.
This is one of the constructs that were created by the Drakarians. It's a completely magic construct. He has some really cool whirling animations, and he breaks up and spins around and does some pretty cool stuff. Let me see if I can get him to
Hulk smash.
Yeah, they're kind of in that nature, yeah.
You're getting compliments on the textures, and that's a good looking golem.
I like him. He's pretty awesome. Well, gotta wait for him to finish his path. Run over here to the end, and then I'll show you some crazy stuff. This is actually probably my favorite NPC in Skyshrine. You'll see him all throughout the content. They're magical constructs, and they actually are textured and colored for each district. So when you go to the Arcane district, you'll see constructs that are that look like they belong in each district. So.
Oh, cool. He's like reset himself. He's like, oh, I gotta turn around.
Yeah, he's running a task. He's just basically set up to be patrolling the city. So when he gets to the end of his path, but I think I might be able to find one that's just standing around that I could show you some cool stuff.
It's doing nothing. After this next one, actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bounce the stream real quick. Then he's gonna turn XSplit off and then relaunch it. I think it's kind of hitching.
Okay.
So let's watch this construct do what the construct does. Oh, he didn't do it for us.
Oh.
He was like, screw you guys, not this time.
Yeah, well, let's run over here so you can see the big area, which is the...
You were fast. You got, like, run hacks on?
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to speed you up, but, let's see.
That's alright.
I can run, there we go.
I'm like, you know, I haven't seen a whole lot of hackers in games, so I'm pretty sure that guy's doing one right now.
Yeah, it's a speed hack. So, as you come around the corner, you'll see the giant mercantile district area. This is Tozkalam, the Grand Emporium, and you'll see all sorts of tents and overhangs and stuff, and this is where they come on a daily thing to do their business. And I actually want to show you this area particularly because when I bring you forward in time and we go to the invaded version, you'll see quite a difference.
Okay.
This is really for effect, but you get the chance to come back to this city in the past. You get the chance to earn faction with the Dracarians. You get a chance to earn rewards. There's quests in both versions of the city. There's quests in the city that's peaceful, and there's quests in the city that's completely under siege that also go back and forth. So it's really cool. It's actually kind of the ultimate thing for explaining instancing, because when you come into Drakir, you meet with a chronomage, and he's explaining to you what's happened and the storyline, and eventually he starts pushing you back into certain periods in the past because you're going back trying to collect information, do reconnaissance, save certain parts of the city as it's being attacked. So it's kind of, when you go into an instance and you go back and you're like, oh, this instance is the same kind or similar every time I go back in time. Well, we actually have a reason for that. It's you're traveling back to the exact same time point.
Okay, I got one question for you then along those lines. So it's kind of like a staggered phasing going on within that instance.
Right.
Like it's going to have different. Well, what about the grouping aspect of that? Would you get on your leader's phase, or what happens if there's a couple of us that are doing that content?
The way that most of this stuff works is you group up and then you zone into it. So you're going through this really crazy looking portal. So you're all going back together. Okay. So yeah, you're obviously most of this is group content. For the first time, we did actually take the instances and create solo versions, which we've never done before, but we did that for Skyshrine, and so there are actually solo versions that you can go in, and it's pretty much the same zone and the same bosses, but it's a solo tier that you can go in and kill stuff and feel awesome. So
that's cool. All right, I'm gonna take this opportunity to